Better press continue. Fuck. Yeah. So that was game 6. Overtime loss to the fucking mole from Austin Powers. Like seriously, that fuck. Like that fuck is straight out of the Austin Powers. And seriously, that guy. And this is what we had. Oh, all right. Well, whatever. All right. So I've been trying to be like the voice of reason, at least through this run. I've actually tried to change. I've actually tried to become a better human being. I had a kid during this pandemic, and I was just like, you know what? I'm going to be a better man. I'm not going to spew negative energy. The minute they benched Freddie, I think that was what helped me. The minute they were like, you know what, Jack Campbell's our guy. Freddie's on the bench now. Like I was like, okay, I can mature, because like Freddie was my last, like, you know, nope. This team is never gonna let me mature. I will be 77 and I will be fucking throwing shit across the room because the Leafs just collapsed to the shittiest motherfucking team, the 18th placed Habs. Like, come on, guys. But anyhow, we got a bunch of people on today. You're probably going to see me and Jihad fucking go at it. Apparently Leafs 28 is Jihad's daddy. I don't know. He's saying some stuff.
I got this covered for you, buddy. Don't you worry.
He's going to say some stuff. We got Zach on. We got Ruzza on, who actually turned off his TV and thought it would help for fucking 2 goals. So we're gonna start with probably the calmest person here. That's Ruzza. And then go from, you know what, actually, no, fuck that. You know what, Zach, we've never had you on before. I want your unadulterated comments, because I swear to God, if Jihad starts first, I'm going to punch him through this fucking laptop. So go ahead, Zach. What?
Holy shit. This is my Joko origin story over here. It's the same shit every single fucking year. I have my faith. The offseason happens, I calm down, and then I look, Matthews has his rocket season. Marner has his best season of all, like one of his best seasons ever, like on pace for that. And they wet fart. That's what they had. They had a fucking wet fart out here. It's the most brutal thing, because you have the faith. You have faith. 3-1 without their captain. And you're like, okay, they're going to win it. Game 5, 3-0 down. Fucking dramatic win. Dramatic comeback ever. 3-0, coming back from 3-0, which they love to do apparently, just to lose off of a Galchenyuk turnover, which
he made
whatever.
This game pass again today, by the way.
Did you see Dermott today? He was doing so well, and I was rooting for him. I was like, he's not Sandines. He's not making the same mistakes. One play a fucking days. I was like, okay, they got 4 minutes left. Well,
but why is it that every time we make a mistake, it
goes in the back of the net?
Back of the net. Like, other people who
cursed franchise is what it is.
Well, Muzzin got injured off of going down the ice. Like, who would that happen to anybody else other than
you saw
Leafs?
That fucking groin pop, because you saw his expression change.
Oh, you knew right away. You're like, this is a big guy who could.
I'm like, no, that's
any
gone.
single person up.
He's gone a month. Like, I will tell you right now, he's gone a month.
He's gone until next season. He's gone until next season because we're not going to make it a month.
Tavares will be back well before him if they make it past the game 7, which I'm the most optimistic Leafs fan you'll see out here. I'm like, give them a chance. When they were down 2-0, I was like, they're going to come back because they're going to do it. And then they started playing well in OT, and I was like, oh, they're going to score here. And then Dermott, and I'm like, nope, they're not going to score. I'm the most positive guy, and I'm like, no, they're not winning game 7. They have no chance of it. Unfortunately,
you know, like, honestly, bro, Zach, nice to meet you, by the way.
Nice
like with your optimistic attitude, like, I totally respect it and appreciate it. But then when you get inside of a call like this and you got some dude named Jihad Raya or whatever sitting there trying to pinpoint every single thing that the Leafs done wrong, they screwed up. Shit happens, man. And like, to be brutally honest, if it wasn't a game 7, it wouldn't be that interesting. But it is a game 7. They have come back, but the Leafs, I firmly believe, are going to drop them on their foreheads in the 7th game. Like that's firmly what I believe. By the way, Raza and Gaush, I don't know how to say your name. You both have absolutely amazing beards, and I am very jealous of you. And then Gaush, how do I say your name? Gaush? Yeah. Gaush? Oh, bro, like you got an amazing smile and a beautiful beard. So like I just wanted to point that out. But
you don't have to.
All right, solid facts. How many games have the Leafs won against the Habs this season? Jihad. That's
in the regular season?
Yes, sir.
7.
7 out of
10 or 11.
Okay.
I can't remember.
Okay. So now you're telling me that like you come in here with all this disbelief, this and that, right? Like they've had a couple of overtime games where they've overcome. Like now you got to keep in mind that the Habs, they were in their home arena and they had fans. Did you see how they came out rolling like a steam train? With the fans behind
so
them.
Here, let me ask you a question.
Sure.
Okay, you've been watching this Leafs team for the past 4 or 5 years. Every single year they've lost. What about that? Forget the regular season because it doesn't matter.
Okay.
How have the Leafs performed in the playoffs against the Habs? They're 3-3 against Boston. Like they've lost 3 game 7/game 5 in a row.
Right.
And they're staring down the barrel of another one. And their top players have not shown up. They haven't performed. What's there to be optimistic about?
Okay, so
let me cut you off for 1 second there. Sheldon Keefe just announced there's no update on Jake Muzzin just yet. Probably means that he's going to probably be out for a while. Did not look good. Just want to. He's out. Yeah. Just wanted to put that out there.
All right.
Sandy's back in next game.
Good shit, Zach. Good shit. Now, with my perspective, how do the Leafs look different? Okay, let me just like break it down for you. John Tavares is injured. I get that. But let's take a look at their total overall roster. You got John Tavares, you got Mitch Marner, you got Jake Muzzin, you got William Nylander, you got look at all of the star caliber power that we actually have. You got a couple of rough games. Where is it? It's going to show up.
It hasn't shown up. It hasn't shown up.
But the thing is, when you're covering Austin Matthews and Mitch Marner, the way that props to the Habs for covering them the way that they have, right? But I'm telling you, look at our roster compared to anybody else's. Yes, sure, you've lost a couple games in a row. Shit happens. I'm telling you, Game 7, I will bet $1,000 on it against your $100. The Leafs are going to win this. If you want to take me up on that, you can just private message me, do whatever you need to do.
Leafs are going to win this. They have all the star power. Great in the regular season. But tell me, the last 2 years against Columbus last year, they relied on Spezza to fire them up on that fight last year in game 4 when they were down 3-0. They had Spezza in that fight. This year, yes, Spezza scoring the goal, looking like the only guy who's engaged. Brody scores a goal. You're paying him not to score. You're paying him to play defense. Last game, Muzzin scores 2. You're not paying Muzzin to do that. You're paying Marner and Matthews combined over $22 million to score goals. They have 1 goal and 2 assists over these 6 games combined. Sorry, 1 goal, 3 assists combined. How you can't be paying guys $22 million over $22 million to have them play a little bit of defense. You can pay guys $2 million for that. McKay plays defense well. Engvall, Kerfoot. You're paying these guys to put the puck in the net, and they haven't been able to do that. Matthews looked like he's lost. Marner looks like he's lost.
Okay, here's where I want to jump in. I know Jihad has comments over the rest of the game. Throughout the series, I thought up until this game, maybe there were points where that I thought maybe Matthews was off, but up until this point, Matthews was not the problem on that line. He was always the first man back, and then he can never break out because Marner never looked like he was ready for a pass. And whenever he did, he had to think when he got the pass. He got two guys who were on him, and then everything died on a stick. When let me finish. When they were in the own zone, Marner would have the puck. He would wait for a half second too much. Then he would pass it into fucking skates. Jihad, I saw your tweets too, and I completely agree with you. Matthew's supposed to be doing this on his own. The problem is the puck was on Marner's stick because Marner's supposed to be the playmaker. Then fucking playmake. Stop thinking. That's my problem with him. He's been playing great defense. That line's been playing great defense. That's not that line's MO though. So he needs to fucking go ahead.
But like Marner, why is Marner always be the one bringing up the puck? Like they're not changing the look.
Okay,
they're not changing the look at all. Like
pass to Marner, did you see that pass? He was there. He didn't miss that pass.
Like the whole fucking line is just off.
No, but okay,
I thought this was Marner's best game today. The series, this was Marner's best game.
I thought it was one of his worst.
You think that was Marner?
Yo. Let Gosh stop. Let him speak, and then you guys voice your opinions afterwards. Let this fella. He's got a beautiful beard. Just let him speak.
Thank you for the question. All I'm saying is, if you saw that pass in OT when Matthews passed to Marner, I thought Marner should have had it on his stick. He was there. Like, he was right there. Like, I don't understand what was going on with Marner. He's thinking for a split second too long. I don't get what's going on with him.
Now, what I'd like to say in regards to what you just said, playoff hockey and regular season hockey is two totally different things. He is used to disappointment with the Toronto Maple Leafs. Sure, when he was on the London Knights, he had some success there. But since he's been on the Toronto Maple Leafs, he hasn't had any success. And he's looking out for the best of his team, where he overthinks is exactly what you said earlier. He just overthinks the play a little bit too much, and it results in shit. But maybe once he gets a kick in the ass, whether it's from Tavares via a voice call or webcam call, face cam or whatever, or whether it's Nick Foligno or whoever it may be, he's going to get a little kick in the ass. He's fucked up earlier today. Sorry, I don't know if you can say that. He screwed up a couple of times on your like earlier today, for example. He just, dude, nobody was covering him at all, and he just over the boards, and it's like, Marner, bro, what are you doing? But
hold on, like I said, just before, I do want to know why, because I do need to get the logic out, because I want to know why Jihad is down on Matthews after this, like, so far. Like, I gotta know.
Yeah, sure.
Go ahead.
Okay, so part of it is just me being angry at the whole team, but the way I look at it is, okay, Matthews and Marner make all the money. The way this team is built, these guys, like, we don't have depth scoring because these are the guys that need to score for us. With our team built the way it is, when you have $40 million spent on four players, you need those $11 million guys to step up. And everyone likes to give Matthews a pass because, oh, Marner's not playing great. Well, Matthews is supposed to be the second best player in the world. The second best player in the world could carry, like, the best player in the world in Connor McDavid carried Zach Kassian to a 20-goal season. Why can't, like, and Marner...
Where are you reading that he's the second best player in the world? Like, I'm not understanding your logic there.
No, I agree with him. Like, I mean, Matthews is after McDavid, who's the best player.
I think as a Leafs fan, I think it might be biased. It might be
like, you could argue it's McKinnon.
Yeah, you could argue that it's McKinnon, but I think 2-3 are pretty Matthews.
Yeah, coin flip. Honestly,
sorry.
It's Matthews, and then
I genuinely thought you were talking about Marner. So my apologies. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh no, Matthews. So, like, to me, it doesn't, like, Marner could be literally a fridge on skates and do nothing, and Matthews should be able to carry that line and create for himself. And my biggest issue is when the puck is on Marner's, like, when the puck's on Marner's stick, that's on Marner, you're right. But when the puck is on his stick, like, he's not creating for himself. He's and that's where I'm having an issue with him. Like, compare his play to Nylander, where Nylander is creating for others, but he's also generating chances for himself. And Matthews isn't creating anything for himself this series.
Here's the only argument I have against that, and I completely agree with Nylander. But in my opinion, Nylander actually has been the best offensive forward this series for us. So, like, I'm gonna push that aside. Like, I'm not saying Matthews has been playing better than me. Nylander's actually been he's generated the most offensive.
And that's an irrelevant.
I totally agree, but they're on Matthews like a fly on shit, bro. Literally.
No, but like, even that,
I do agree with that.
We're not talking, but these aren't special.
collapsing.
Okay, but these aren't any special players that are on Matthews.
They're-
Like, I'm sorry,
they're not.
Matthews should be able to score against Phil Deneau, Brendan Gallagher, whoever the fuck's on the third guy on their line, and
100%.
whichever defenseman they put out. 1 goal in 6 games for Austin Matthews is inexcusable. I don't care who's playing, who he could be playing with.
100%. But this is the thing. The problem I think I have at this point watching that line play is they seem to be very aware that it's Matthews and Marner playing with each other. Like Matthews is where he's playing with Marner, Marner is where he's playing with Matthews. The problem is they don't seem to be aware that Marner's playing like shit. So they still look for each other. When Matthews was playing with Kapanen and Janssen, he knew he was fucking carrying a bunch of fucking turds. And he was like, I got to do this.
Kapanen and Janssen have played better than Marner in this.
But that's
Marner?
my point. But my point, though, is when the reason they play better is there's no expectation there. Matthew's like, I will do this. You guys just go in and forecheck.
Marner needs to shoot more. And by the end of the game, he started to do a bit more, and I noticed that. But the only way you're going to get Matthews open more is if on the power play and in 5-on-5 is you got to get Marner to shoot. If Marner becomes a real shooting threat where he could get pucks on net, maybe bury a gross goal, then Matthews is all of a sudden going to be open because you can't just cheat off of Marner. And that's what Price and the defensemen do, is they cheat off of him because they know, well, you're going to pass it to Matthews, you're going to try to pass it to Riley, whoever. You know there's going to be one of 2 passes he's going to do. He's going to try to force it to Matthews, or he's going to pass it back to Riley and then reset the play.
All right,
on the
Zach,
power play,
I'm going to do this in an order of like newest to oldest. Zach, I'm going to start with you. Did you think the Leafs lost this game or the Habs won this game?
That's a tough question. Sorry, I'm gonna add a little bit of depth to this. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. I think at the beginning they were playing to not lose, if that makes sense. They were kind of just playing passive. They didn't have their legs. They looked like probably the worst I've seen them since this whole year. Like I haven't seen them play that bad this year. Later on, they found their legs, and then I think the Leafs just kind of lost it for themselves. I don't think the Habs played better than the Leafs. I think the Leafs lost it. The Leafs, if they play to their potential, 10 times out of 10 are beating the Habs. But the issue is that they get this doubt in their head now, and you're looking at it now, and they're like, "Oh, I'm so scared now. The Habs just won 1 game. Oh, they just won another game. Oh, we're going to Game 7 again. Oh, this and this." But where was this game? In the first 4 games, they were dominant. What happened in these last 2? They're playing to lose now. They're not playing to win, but they're playing not to not lose.
Okay, Leafs 28. I got a question for you because I already know what you think of Game 7, which I'm with you. Like, I got to ride with my boys. So like, I'm with you on your opinion of what happens in Game 7. However, how do you fix the power play in Game 7?
Okay, so I am clearly a fan of Joe Thornton. He's from St. Thomas, Jumbo Joe. He's nicknamed after that elephant that got smoked by a train. Good shit. Jumbo Joe Thornton. Like there's nothing bad for me to say about him. But does he belong on the first power play unit? Now, even though Alex Galchenyuk has made his mistakes here and there, I think Alex Galchenyuk or anybody, like even Alex Kerfoot, no matter who it is, because they are clearly way faster than he is, he's got to be taken off that power play. Now, another thing that I have to add to that is Wayne Simmons. Wayne Simmons, dude, he has cleaned some clocks this season. He has made me jump out of my seat, and he just did, like, I mean, whether it was Edler, even though it's a controversial fight, whether it's Chariot, whether it's who's that other dude that he fought, Ben. Whatever his name, not Jamie Ben, his little Jordy Ben. He's cleaned some clocks this season where it gets the Leafs on their feet, and that's great. But at the same time, like you need to when you're Manny Malhotra, the power play has not been working for ages. Now, at the beginning of the season, oh my God, like that is orgasmic. I don't know if you can say that on your stream. I'm sorry if you can't. But dude, it was so awesome. But then, like not even halfway through the season, it just goes for a shit. Why aren't you changing that? Why? Like, there's no definition, no matter what Leafs fan you are, what coach you are, assistant coach, the Marlies player, whatever, you would see that it's not working and you got to change some things up.
Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Jihad, I got 2 questions for you. One, kind of build off of what he said. Who do you blame, if you had to, for the shortcomings? Do you, at this point, blame Malhotra, or do you blame Keefe for not stepping in? Because we already kind of talked about this.
I think it's shared blame. Like, you're the head coach, right? Like, everything at the end of the day stops with you. Like, if you think something. So, as a fan, I blame Malhotra, but as an organization, the blame should fall on Keefe, because clearly he thinks that what Malhotra is doing is right, or he's comfortable, even if he disagrees, to just let Malhotra do his thing. It's one of those things where if you're a manager and you don't agree with the way one of your employees is operating, are you just going to let them continue to fuck it up? Or are you going to step in and make sure they do it right? And the answer is always going to be, I'm going to step in and make sure they do it right. But what if neither person thinks what they're doing is wrong?
Okay.
Out of the minimal things that Jihad and I mean, we disagree on pretty much everything, but that's one of the things that I totally agree with him on.
Who was I'm trying to remember, who was the power play coach last year for the Leafs?
Oh, wasn't it
Malhotra
Florida guy?
Yeah,
I remember who.
Malhotra last year too.
No, they hired Malhotra this offseason.
Because the power play was terrible last year as well. What I just want to.
It was terrible every year. That's the other thing too.
But I mean, last year was considerably bad because you just had the new guy. You just had Keefe come in. You have all these stars now, and it was bad. I think you kind of got to put the blame on Keefe here. There's something that Keefe's doing here that's causing it. Because if you're having 2 power play coaches in a row where you're having this kind of issue, then you kind of got to look at the head coach now. I think everybody's got to look at the head coach.
Has it been 2 or has it been more? To me, it feels like it's been more. The power play was disastrous before Keefe got in last year.
But yeah, I'm talking about just Keefe, though. I don't care about what Babcock's was. Babcock was a whole different system.
But it's important. But it's important to point that out because it's been the same players on the units. The last time we had a good power play was when Marner was quarterbacking the unit with Bozak, Kadri, JVR, and Riley. That was the last time we had a good power play.
I disagree.
McFarland?
It was Paul McFarland.
Yes.
McFarland.
I'm gonna jump in here. I think the thing with the power play for me is it's not. I think it's not so much that the power play. This is gonna sound really weird, but it's not so much that the power play in and of itself is bad, quote unquote. I just think they don't adapt. Because my issue is, so last year, even under Babs, the power play started off really good last year too. And within a month or so, in that first month where teams don't have their system set, where their PK is typically terrible for most teams, our power play was eating people alive because they would just react and play kind of freely, right? And just read off instinct and just play. As soon as teams started to make adjustments and started to play penalty kill a lot more structured, all of a sudden our power play goes to shit and we don't make any adjustments for the rest of the season. That happened under Babcock 2 years ago. It happened under Keefe at the end of last season and towards the end of Babcock's tenure. And it's happened again this season where we start off really, really hot on the power play. And then as soon as teams adjust and are able to kind of pick up on our tendencies, we don't adapt. We just do the same thing over and over and over again. And that's happened.
And the other thing,
right? It's been for like the last 3 years.
And the other thing too, on that note, is like there was a slight bump when Keefe took over, just because he took Riley out, put Barry on, and then loaded up that unit, and all of a sudden you had that different look, and those guys were playing together for the first time, so it wasn't something teams had seen before, and you had that quick spike where, oh my God, this power play looks really good, and then all of a sudden it kind of fades again. But it has never faded to the degree it faded this year, because last year, even when it faded, they were still the sixth best unit in the league.
They never faded like this. So, Raza, I have a question for you, because I know how much you hate him on this fucking line. What's your thoughts on Thornton on that first power play unit?
Okay, I'm gonna go on a long-winded rant. We have 9 minutes left. I'm probably gonna take up the next 3 or 4. I turned my TV off in the third period because this is the first time in my life I have never turned the TV off. I watched all of Game 7 against Boston, all of Game 7 against Boston, all of Game 7 against Boston. I also watched Game 5 against Columbus all the way to the end. I turned my TV off because I've never been this disappointed in an effort from a Leafs team. They just look like they didn't care. Aside from Jack Campbell and William Nylander and Jason Spezza, maybe. And then I think that part's Morgan Riley. He's been really good this series.
Yeah.
Looked like they just did not care until they got scored on. But I wasn't going to stick around to find out. And then we scored 2 goals, and I'm reading it on Twitter. I'm like, you know what? I'm not turning my TV back on. So I didn't turn my TV back on. And I'm getting like 30, 40 tweets saying, don't turn it back on. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe this will work. I'm that superstitious. Maybe it'll work. And it didn't work.
We're all to an extent fucking, yeah. Go ahead.
My biggest issue right now with Joe Thornton is Maz and I kind of got into a disagreement on this earlier. I just don't like, I know he adds like veteran leadership and brings a lot of character to the team. Put him on the bench, give him an assistant coach role or do something so that but like, I don't know what he does on the ice. It just like nothing is happening. He's not fast enough to keep up with the play. He can't keep the puck on his stick. He gets the puck stripped off him way too easily. And that's both 5-on-5 and on the power play. And I just don't see what he's adding on that unit. When we're on the power play, we're struggling as it is. We were all crying for Nylander to come onto that unit, and he did today, but it was at the expense of Hyman instead of
Thornton. I was like, where the fuck is Thornton?
Where is what do you mean, Joe Thornton?
If you need a draw
power play, he's the last one to score on the power play for us.
Yeah.
Well, you do bring up a good point. If they need someone to take the draw, Spezza's right there.
And Spezza's got a shot. Spezza can handle the puck. Spezza can make moves, make plays.
You don't want Matthews taking the draw on the power play because you want him to quickly pull the trigger.
Yeah.
Okay, but that hasn't worked yet. Put Matthews on the draw. Have him go to the front of the net. He's a big body. Just have him tip in a goal. Have him get the puck in the net.
I have a super controversial opinion about the power play.
Okay, go for it.
Get Matthews off of it. It's going to sound counterintuitive.
Kick this guy.
No,
Honestly,
here's the thing.
Goodness.
Can I explain?
Okay,
Please.
go for it.
Remember in the last time we had a lethal power play, everyone was like, Matthews and Nylander are your second unit, and your top unit was Marner and 4 guys, JVR, Bozak, and Kadri were your forwards, with your other forwards, and Riley was your defenseman. The problem, team, like every time Matthews is on the power play, no matter who is there with him, they're always trying to get the puck to him.
Okay, so what? Okay, if that's your
And
opinion,
every team,
why wouldn't you? But the guy who the most offending guy in that situation, we all know is Marner. Pull him off that line.
Okay, I am being
shooting threats.
I am being somewhat facetious, but like not 100% because it feels like these guys need to play without Matthews to stop passing the fucking puck to him.
Here's the thing, though, Jihad. Here's my issue with that, right? Alex Ovechkin does the same thing
But they do a good job of making you forget that
exactly.
Because they have other shooters.
Because
this
shooters
team
on that
can't seem to figure out how to make the other team forget about Matthews. So take him off the unit until they fucking learn. It's one of those things you can have your dessert when you fucking eat your veggies.
No, bro, like a common trend that you keep referring to, like each and every single argument that you make in regards to like the Leafs nowadays, you keep mentioning Tyler Bozak, JVR, this and that. Like, bro, like if you're lost in 5 or 3, 4 or 5 years in the past, like I get it. But to be honest, you keep on resorting to like Tyler Bozak. Tyler Bozak was on the power play, and JVR was on the power. They're not on our team anymore, dude. They're not on our team, right? So,
who does Toronto have now that you can have as JVR? Because JVR is probably one of the best power play net front guys. So who would be your JVR in that situation? Who do you think would be?
John Tavares, straight up, but he's injured.
I'm talking about right now on the Jihad. This is a question for you. Right now, with the team
I'd probably play Nylander there, except I'd also want him. I mean, he was in front of the net
He
last
went
year, and he
in
did
front of the
great.
net.
But you don't,
because
he's
remember-
the only shooting threat though. Like, why now put him in front
Well,
of the net?
I would also put Spezza on one of the half boards.
But do you remember the JVR goal? One of his like trademark goals in the power play was front of the net, ass to the goalie, between the legs, go in. That's what he did. But JVR is probably one of the best in the league at the time at doing that. But you don't really have a guy like that, and that's what you need.
Do that though. I think Wayne Simmons can play that role. Like he.
But you
The
had
thing-
him.
his hands aren't that good.
Since his injury, his hands look like it's cement.
Yeah.
Right?
He has Ilya Mikheyev hands ever since his injury.
Yeah.
But here's the thing though, like this would be my like fucking weirdo fucking choice, right? Like you put Marner in where Thornton is behind the net, right? You have Matthews and Nylander as your shooting threats. You have
I
Sandy.
even throw Spezza in there.
Yeah,
Like
yeah. So you have
why
either
not?
you have Sandy or Riley as your own defenseman, and then you throw in. You know, there's a guy who's actually low key strong that no one actually gives credit for being actually low key strong is Engvall.
Okay, I would have put Engvall in front of the net if that's what you.
Engvall's stronger than you guys think. I'm just saying
for-
this right now.
I want to see. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
No,
I
go
want to
ahead.
see one of Bogosian or Muzzin on the first power play.
Yeah, but
They-
Muzzin's gone, and I wouldn't trust
Yeah, I want to see Bogosian on the first power play.
Really?
The only reason why I know a lot of plays die on his stick, he has that slap shot that makes guys terrified. You saw in the an overtime today. Again, controversial opinion, I know, but you saw in the overtime today, or was it end of the third? He bombed one, and it looked like it was about to go in. You need a guy like what Sandin did, who could shoot the puck and get in the net. You don't have those shooters. That's why the Washington Power
we
play is so
bailed
good.
on Sandy in the minute he had a back.
I mean, Sandy's gonna come back in now, right? Unless
he's.
pulls a great turnaround and brings in Marty Marinson.
Hey, you know what? Oh, faithful, man. Oh, faithful.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, Marinson comes in like I'm
Did you see Sarah Stives tweet today about how the GM of the Hurricanes, Mark Bergeron's going to convince him to put Jake Gardiner on waivers and have the Leafs claim him for the Game 7.
I love it.
Sarah Stives,
there is one Carolina defenseman I really want on this team that would probably fix this power play next year. But anyway, that's a conversation for a different time.
We've
You know
got
who
a-
should
we've got a minute and a
quarterback this
half,
power
so
play?
We'll send you guys another link because we got a minute.
But
and a
by
half.
the way,
Okay, so I will take this last minute and a half to petition for Travis Dermott to quarterback the power play.
Okay, right before you finish, just to rub this salt into Jihad's thing.
Oh,
Marner in his comments after the game was like, "Yeah, we didn't come ready to play. We were no good. That's on us." You know, the last time someone said that was last year. Who said it? It was fucking Marner. Why is it always fucking Marner saying that we didn't come ready to play?
Listen, hey,
Ready to play.
I am all for trade. I'm on the trade Marner train.
No,
I am. Get this guy on the
generational
don't-
talent. Just
Don't
fucking
even bring him back to Toronto.